Welcome to Tackling Stigma. My name is Tammy Romano. I am the manager of the athletic program here at APN. My co-host here on my left, Anthony Fasano.
Anthony Fasano, President APN Athletics. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. And on my left side, we've got a very special guest here who, out of respect and confidentiality, we do want to keep his name and face private. But with that, would you like to share a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I decided about to go, for the purpose of this interview and for purposes of just inspiration for others. I'm going by the name of Dusty. And I'm taking that as inspiration from the famous late wrestler Dusty Rhodes. And, he had a powerful speech one time called Hard Times. And very deep, he went into it, and it was a promo, but his speech, The Hard Times, it parallels so close with my life and what I have experienced. So I just think it's suitable for me to just pay homage to him for how he has motivated me and inspired me to continue on. And I think it's appropriate for this occasion.
Okay.
And I just want to go into his speech a little bit, give y'all just a little background. So
Okay.
As we know, he was a famous wrestler, heavyweight wrestler. I'm a heavyweight myself. So he started off his speech. He said, "First of all, I would like to thank the many fans throughout the country that wrote cards and letters to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, while I was down." And that right there, I take that as when I was down and, I've been going through this struggle, those fans and those people that wrote letters to me, that's Miss Tammy, that's Laura, that's Miss Arlene, that's the whole APN staff that worked with me and took their time to help bring me back up. Like Dusty Rhodes said, when I was down. So that's what that means to me, how it parallels in my life. Then he said, he started speaking about hard times. And as Miss Tammy, you know my story personally of how I had a rough career, and my career was ended suddenly by severe injury. And Dusty Rhodes said in his speech, he said, and hard times are when a man has worked at a job for 30 years, and they give him a watch and kick him in the butt and say, "Hey, a computer took your place, daddy." That's hard times. So basically, in my career, when I was injured, I was looked at as damaged goods and never given another shot to play again. So that's another how I can relate to Dusty Rhodes' speech. It give you a watch, kick you in the butt, and say a computer took your place. Good luck. And just for all the listeners, another part of his speech, he said, "And we all had hard times together. And I admit I don't look like the athlete of the day supposed to look. My belly's a little big, my hind is a little big, but brother, I am bad, and they know I'm bad." And once again, I was never the physical specimen. I was undersized. I didn't have the Arnold Schwarzenegger six-pack. I played with all heart. I gave my heart and soul to it. And, just like everybody else out here battling through this mental health, we all had hard times together. And, we fighting together. So I just want everybody to know that this is not just an athlete thing. This is for everybody, because I wasn't considered a elite athlete. So that's how that part relates to me. Then he said, "I'm going to reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for the gathering of the biggest body of people in the country, in this universe, all over the world now, reaching out because the love because the love that was given to me, and this time I will repay you, because I will be the next heavyweight champion on this Hard Time Blues, the Dusty Rhodes Tour 85, and that's the Dusty Rhodes Tour 2022. So basically, on this road to recovery, I'm just letting all the listeners know, everybody, all my peers, everybody struggling in this mental health field, that I'm coming and I'm going to be that heavyweight champion. I'm doing it for y'all. He said, "We reaching out, touching y'all hand. I want y'all to know we in this together. You're not alone." And that's how that parallels to me in his speech. And finally, he said, Dusty Rhodes said, "Heavyweight title, I'm gonna take it. I've been there twice. This time, when I take it, Daddy, it's gonna be for you. Let's gather for it. Don't let me down now, because I came back for you." Now listen to this. He said, "For that man upstairs that died 10, 12 years ago, never got the opportunity to see a real world champion." Let me say it again. He said, "Let's gather for it. Don't let me down now, because I came back for you, for that man upstairs that died 10, 12 years ago and never got the chance to see the opportunity to see a real heavyweight champion." That part right there is what's so critical to me and the reason why I'm here to speak on this, because it's a lot of guys that's not here anymore. A lot of guys that been struggling with this mental health and stress, anxiety, depression, all this stuff. And these people wasn't able to reach out and get this help like we have at APN. So I'm doing it for them. People that's not here anymore, the people that's resting in peace right now. I'm still here and I'm living for you. So I'm drawing strength from Dusty Rhodes' speech, and it's giving me a chance to keep pushing, keep moving forward, and doing it for the fallen soldiers who didn't make it. So everybody out there listening, I hope we can push on together and don't give up. And that's what Dusty Rhodes means to me.
Thank you. Ooh, that one touched my heart. And I know the silence here, it allows a little bit of space, right? Because what you are speaking about goes very deep. And it's, our episode here of tackling stigma, that you touched upon a lot of different layers. Stigma that keeps us silent, right? That keeps us isolated. That keeps us in a place that we're not able to reach out. And you're here today, so I cannot even begin to say how grateful I am for your ability to share that vulnerability and wanting to break this cycle and wanting to affect change for not only you, but for those to come and those who have passed too. So welcome, Dusty.
Thank you.
That was real as it gets. And I thank you, honor you, because I know it takes a lot of courage. I'm confident somebody out there listening to this is going to benefit from what you just said. So.
Absolutely. So I'm curious. You spoke. There was a lot of entry points here, and I'm going to be honest. I'm trying to figure out which would be the best. But what I heard in your voice was the strength of vulnerability. It comes up, right? In being able to use our voice and being able to advocate for change, and your journey is very unique to you. And so I guess maybe my question is just really that transition of vulnerability and seeing it as a strength today, and where you're at in your own recovery and moving forward through your recovery.
Oh yeah, it's been tough trying to shift that mindset. When you playing, athlete on the highest levels, you taught to not have feelings. You don't have time to have feelings. If you have feelings, you're gonna get hurt. Physically, because your mind not gonna be on the situation at task. We going against each other in a very violent game, going at each other 100 miles per hour. So you don't have time to think about feelings and, worrying about, you just got to handle the business, So it's so much of a situation where you don't have time to feel anything, You just got to have that famous next play mentality, just keep pushing forward, don't think about nothing in the past. And so it was a hard adjustment, but I can honestly say that through all this good therapy I've been getting from Laura and Miss Tammy and Miss Arlene, just the whole staff at APN, they helped me to shift my perspective and realize the strength that it takes to be vulnerable and open up and not just bottle up all my feelings and just letting them explode and just let it turn into something bad. It's just I have learned the importance of being vulnerable and sharing and getting everything out. And it has greatly has benefited me.
Yeah. That energy that you just spoke of, and not wanting to do anything bad, right? That energy that's there by not talking about it, by not releasing, some of those emotions that you talked about. Curious, how was that for you to hold everything in?
It was tough. You feel alone. You don't have anyone to talk to. Playing on a high level. It's all about being. You don't. It's about being seen, never heard. So you can't express nothing that's going on the inside. You literally just gotta perform. So it's tough because you don't have anyone to talk to. It's such a. It's looked at as bad as you. Like you soft if you speak about you feeling sad or you feeling pressure. You feeling. But on the inside, it's eating you up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you get to hit each other and play. It's kind of therapeutic to take out that aggression, and that's kind of like how you get it out at that moment. But when the game is gone and you can no longer play, you can no longer get, be on the team anymore because of your injury. Now it's like you have no outlet, so now you just stuck to your own thoughts. Now you start. That's when you start these feelings. You no longer can take them out anymore, and those feelings just get deep and dark, and it's just it's real life. It's the game is over, and now you got to deal with it, and that's the hardest thing ever.
What would you say to somebody, football player or not, that doesn't feel like they have the support system that they need? What made you make the shift to seek help, or what was your process to be able to get the support you needed?
Never, I always I hope I always loved myself, but after my experiences of playing, it made me doubt myself. And then I never thought about hurting myself and things like that. And, I didn't want to be around people. I was staying in the house. I was paranoid. I was just easily agitated. It was just so many different things was happening. I can't even just name them all to you, but I wasn't myself anymore. And I knew I wasn't myself. Like, I was like to have fun. I like to joke, have a good time, watch movies, and I couldn't do any of that anymore. And I knew something was wrong, and I was starting to plan bad things. And I was by the grace of God, I had a brother that, recommended me to, the only one that could understand what was going on when I was trying to explain it to him, and he recommended, get therapy. And, I think that's the first thing that anybody out there that's struggling needs to do is go get therapy. Go get some help. If you feeling like you're back against the wall and you don't have nowhere to turn, they got therapists out there that can help you and can talk to you, and you can share your feelings and not get judged. And they can understand what you're going through, and that's the key. That can give you hope when you feel like you have no hope and everything is dark. That can start put that little light in that tunnel when you starting to finally be able to talk and get it out. Go seek help. Get therapy. Know you're not alone. There's some good, genuine therapists out there like Miss Tammy that's right here on the camera, like Laura, like Shelly. She knows she is. I hope one day she hears this because she did such a good job. Shelly was the reason I came to APN, and that chain of events led me to meet Miss Tammy and Laura and all the APN staff.
Yeah, I like, as we look at this topic of tackling stigma and, especially mental health, and I heard you say, and I think it's been a common theme, something's wrong with me. And whether it's societal, whether it's family who don't understand, whether it's even ourself, right? We have this shame that comes up when we look at what's wrong with me. And I think you touched upon a little bit, the mentality of, I don't know, war, not war, you didn't use warrior, but just that mentality that it took, to play. And then what's wrong with me in such a dark place. And I think when we begin to take a look at tackling and breaking down the walls, the stigma associated around mental health, that, man, you hit on the very first thing is being able to reach out, right? Wanting to reach out and not being able to, but being able to push through that. And I think, that sometimes, I think we've talked earlier, some of the resilience that comes up, some of the positives that come up, that even through that darkness, that we can tap into that, and we don't have to be silent anymore, right?
For sure. We can talk now. We can be open.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to hold all those feelings in. Everything we experience, we can talk about it and get it out. We don't have to just let it boil inside of us anymore. We can finally get it out. We don't have to just hide it, act like everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because we good at acting like everything's okay. Just because somebody smiling don't mean they not depressed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
People hide it. I was good at wearing a mask. I could fake it for a couple hours, then I gotta go disappear. Then I'm all alone. That's when it gets bad, So, it's good to talk about it and get it out, and not just wear that mask and hide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think while maybe the pride in the coping mechanisms that allowed you to become such a successful player also probably helped you progress through treatment once you made the decision to go. Do you feel like some of the things that made you a good player made you excel in treatment and so passionate about it currently?
For sure.
Good.
I shifted my focus of how I trained to be an athlete, because like I say, I was a guy that wasn't free agent, got to make a team every year. And so I worked extremely hard. That's why it's my NFL, my sports experience was so hard. It was so difficult because I gave it everything I had. I put my heart and soul into it every day to survive on them teams. So I took that same energy and focus that I trained with, and I applied it into this, like this we call it, me and the guys, we call it mental training camp. So
I like that.
So I took all that energy and effort from going hard on the field. I took that into this mental training camp at APN, and I went hard. You know, I gave it I put my heart and soul into it. I went to every class. I went to every therapist meeting. I did every activity that was available. I did everything. I practiced every tool they gave me: meditation, music therapy, breathing, you know, DBT skills, like just every single tool. I actually studied it. I applied it. I did everything I could because I want to overcome this so bad. So, yes, I believe that my discipline as an athlete has definitely helped me at, you know, attacking this mental health.
I like that because training camp was tough, and this shit's tough too.
This shit's really tough.
Yeah. And if you're going to quit easy, it's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
That perseverance, you know, has probably really made you excel and dive deep into this.
For sure. Like I said, I gave it my heart and soul because it was literally, it's the most serious football.
Mm-hmm.
Life on the line. You feel it?
Mm-hmm.
My life.
So how would you describe your life today? And I want you to think about it for a sec, because has it changed from where you were at when you first came in? Have you changed of where you were at when you first came in?
Definitely. It's a new life. It's a new whole new outlook. You know, all these things that has happened, I'm using them as, you know, just embracing them as part of the journey, part of the struggle. You know, the hard times. Once again, Dusty Rhodes. You know, just everything. I'm using it to push forward and embrace the difficulties and everything I have experienced, to use it to, you know, it's part of my character now. You know, it's like war wounds. You know, I'm proud of them. You know, I'm embracing them. That's a part of what I'm learning in therapy. You know, not to be ashamed. You know, because I'm human. You know, I'm not a machine. You know, so I'm liking the direction I'm heading. You know, I feel way better than I did before I came here, because before I came here, it was almost out of here, if you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think can be done, or what kind of advice would you have for, you know, maybe to help someone avoid this situation or get through this situation properly? That might be in the league, that might not be in the league. Or what could be done?
I think just finding the right resources. You know, I'm not sure, like, if you're feeling suicidal, please, you know, call for help. Don't do it. If the pressure getting to you, talk to somebody. It's Google is a useful tool. You know, Google APN. They got people that you can talk to. you know, you know, find the genuine people that genuinely care, that can direct you to the right people. They can get you some help. You know, if you like me, you know, you got rigid boundaries and, you know, it's hard to talk to people, but, you know, just reach out on a limb and if you're feeling down, you're feeling dark, reach out for help. Because I'm telling you, I want you to be able to relate to me and know that you're not alone. I'm probably sure a lot of you all are probably feeling like me as you're listening to this. And I hope my voice is giving you strength to know that it's okay to go talk to someone and go get some help. It's not a thing to be looked at as you're weak. It takes great strength to be able to talk about this and reach out for help. That's real strength. You know, I would have took, you know, if I would have, that's strength. Just know that's strength. Go get the help. That's true strength to actually speak up about it. Real strength. Know that you're a very strong person if you can go and get some help.
Yeah, I like that, you know, and I think it's this, you know, it's a shift in thinking, it's a shift in feeling, it's a shift in cognition, you know, that what I heard in the beginning, you know, that a strong man, let's say that, a strong man, right? We've got this image or this of masculinity of what it should be or who he should be, how I should be. And, you know, and that's we carry a lot of weight. And when I say we, of course, I'm female, but, you know, I think even as a female, you know, to be a strong woman, we carry the weight of the world. We carry the weight of our family. We carry, you know, that we are providers. And, you know, there's a lot of stress that goes along with that. But that's very isolating and it's a very lonely place when we are acting from a place of a strong man or a strong woman. But when we begin to make that shift, we shift over to a man of strength, a woman of strength. Dusty, a man of strength, and finding that strength in others, finding that strength by reaching out, finding that strength and breaking the barriers down or breaking those walls down when we look at stigma around mental health, whether it's culturally, whether it's generationally. We begin to create this strength within that is attached to your strength. And we become, you know, people of strength. And that's how we begin to tackle this stigma of mental health and being able to develop not just our physical bodies, you know, but being able to develop our mental capacities and find some balance in that.
For sure.
You know, Dusty, you had mentioned earlier, you know, resources, and, you know, there are resources out there. And you even mentioned a couple for yourself. I think one was music therapy, another DBT, or, you know, can you speak a little bit more on that?
Oh, yeah. You know, when I'm feeling down and I'm you know, these are ongoing battles, you know, so I don't want anybody to think that it's just going to magically disappear, you know, so just know you got to work hard at this every day of your life. And, you know, when I'm feeling down, you know, something I was able to learn at APN was music therapy. And through music therapy, you know, I'm able to just get some good music and meditate. You know, I'm listening to the music. I'm listening to the words. It's uplifting me. It's bringing my spirit up. It's taking me to the light and not to the dark. You know, it's making me think positive. It's giving me motivation to keep pushing forward, keep being here. You know, that's one tactic. I want to just advocate that for anyone out there. You know, if you're not ready for therapy yet, try the music therapy. Really take it serious. Listen to your most favorite, most inspiring, uplifting songs that speak to your soul and gives you strength to keep going. panic attacks. That's something I struggle with very hard. That they get the best of me, but sometimes if I feel them coming, one of the skills I learned was getting a bowl of ice water and putting my face in it, and literally that will curb the panic attack. I hope someone out there hears this and tries that, because it works. Big bowl of water, lots of ice, and literally it will take your mind off of those feelings, everything that's about to cause that panic attack. If you can catch it before it gets there, I promise you that'll cure it. Just the music therapy, the ice bath for your face, meditation.
Oh, I was going to ask you on that. How does meditation help you?
Oh yeah, man, it's deep. Miss Tammy, she was able to, the area I was injured in is very, very, it's a very private place, and Miss Tammy was able to just do a meditation with me and work with me through a specific area and help take some of the pressure and dark energy from that place and lift it off of me. And it's literally just a matter of just breathing and focusing on that area and just, man, it's just powerful. And breathing exercises, the box breathing.
Wait a second. Box breathing. Can you explain that one to our listeners who might be asking, what is box breathing?
That's when you inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and then after you breathe out for 4 seconds, hold that for 4 seconds, and then you just do it all over again. So it's a box 4 ways. And also the double breath. You breathe in as deep as you can, and then you always got one more breath that you can take deep in. So breathe in as deep as you can. And that's the sequence right there. That is just...
Ooh, I needed that.
Take a whole lot of pressure and anxiety off of you. You know what I'm saying? It's just these little tools that can just help you, just give you that one little inch you need to just keep going. All these little tools just work, and these are things you learn in therapy, and things that I had no idea of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know none of these things existed. And man, it's just so many different. I can't name them all. We wouldn't have enough time to do it. But I hope these quick ones can literally help someone out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I genuinely don't want anyone out there to suffer. Because I've been there. That's why I told you that Dusty Rhodes is so real. We all had hard times together. So that's why I'm sharing this free.
I like it. I think you touched upon, another skill or another thing we look at when we are wanting to break down the walls of stigma is educating ourselves. Educating ourselves in recognizing, the equality that we are not our anxiety, right? So many times we say, I have anxiety versus I struggle with anxiety, right? We equate the two, and then we become the problem. And then what's wrong with me? And then there's language that we begin to use. And so educating ourselves, and like you just said, whether it's simple tools, and the more you learn, you kind of expand on that. Can I call it a toolbox?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a toolbox for your mental well-being. Ooh, we'll have to coin that. No.
I have a question. I can feel your authenticity, your passion for this. And it seems like you were a guy prior to this that really held a lot in, maybe more than others. Now that you have this toolbox, have you gone and spoke to this about someone maybe in your family or your inner circle? And how did they react to you when you explained what's going on? Because I think a lot of people out there worry about the fallout or the judgment that the people closest to them in their life still might give them. I was wondering if you had an experience like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I say, I'm blessed to have a few very understanding people, and then again, there are some that don't understand and don't want to understand. And that's another thing I learned in therapy, that you have to accept that that's just them. That's not you. As their understanding has nothing to do with you. And so I can't carry that weight for them not understanding what I'm going through. But for the ones that do, those are the ones you keep in your circle. They they are a part of your support team. And man, the coolest thing behind all of this is through the APN groups. I have a new community of friends. I have some guys that are like brothers to me, and I'm able to visit them and eat dinner with their families and talk to them when I'm down, and just share with them, because we all got the same thing in common. So I don't have to worry about being judged. We all battling this together, so we all lean on each other. One day I'm strong, he can lean on me. The next day I might be down, so he picking me up and he giving me strength. So, it's just that sort of thing. We both pour into each other, and that's the coolest thing. That's the blessing that came from this whole experience, is the new family and the new community that came about, through our experiences.
Yeah, I don't think I could have said it any better. Right? It's that relationships, the connections that you have made, that whether it was depression, whether it was those dark thoughts that you talked about that wanted to keep you isolated and separate, detached from others, and recovery, right? Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about your recovery.
Mm-hmm.
That it's allowed you now to connect. It's allowed you to organically allow even some healing in your family, like you talked about, even though family was there, supportive, but you get to show up in this, I don't want to say new, because it's always you, right? But there's this authenticity. There's this authenticism. What's the word I'm trying to say?
Authentic.
Thank you. There's an authentic side of you now that includes vulnerability, that includes openness, that includes just this self-nurturing that is what I hear it in your voice, and you're being very kind to yourself and by sharing.
For sure. Like I said, it's just so important just to have that new family, that new community, guys that understand and, not judging each other, and just, it means everything to me to have that. Because I'm like I say, I'm even to the point now where, I'm feeling better, for recovery. Some days I'm feeling good, and I work with kids. I'm trying to help them, so they're never in this situation. They never, have to experience these dark places. So that's a blessing that came from it. That at first I would, was in the house all day long, not coming out in the basement. Literally, not taking baths, anything, just in the house. And now, I've got to a point where I can enter society and help the youth, so they'll never ever have to experience this.
Yeah.
What are some of the messages you're giving the youth?
That, it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to be a human, Don't be a machine. Don't listen to those messages out there about, man can't have feelings, men not sad, just, you know, it's okay. Talk to someone. You know, don't hold it in. It's okay to speak up, get it off your chest. Because if you hold on to those bad feelings, you know, it's gonna explode. You know, I explained it the other day with Miss Tammy in a group meeting. I said, if you hold those feelings in, it's like those things you see on the computer when people mix the Coca-Cola with the Mentos and it just explodes. Like literally, if you don't talk about it, that will happen. So talk about it now. Talk about it early. Get your feelings out. You know, it's okay, and anchor in to something powerful, more powerful than you. And for me personally, it's God. So, you know, I just talk to kids about, you know, keeping that as your foundation. So to give you strength to keep going.
Yeah. I'm curious, you know, and I can hear again in your voice that it's very powerful that you're working with these young, are they boys? Just,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, young men?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What does that do for you? Your spirit, you and who you are today, of giving of yourself in such a way.
Oh yeah, it's like therapeutic to me to be able to help the youth and help the young men and give them the tools that I didn't even have when I was growing up. Because like I said, I was taught, you know, just keep, you don't have time to feel nothing. You know, you just gotta handle business. You know, just keep going forward no matter what. And you know, so for me to be able to talk to these kids and give them these tools and give them the best foundation, you know, and I feel like I'm doing my part to keep them from experiencing this trauma, and you know, potentially, you know, save some lives in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you know, and I think, and as you say, they're not your kids, but you are giving of yourself in such a way. And I think for those who, we do have children, that being able to have conversations, healthy conversations about mental health, being able to have healthy conversations from a place of exemplifying leadership in your own life and sharing that with them, you know, and communication and conversation, and you've said it many times, to not remain silent is how we begin to affect change. And you're doing it with the youth, and you're doing it in your programs.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to do my part. Like I said, if I can keep one kid from ever having to experience this trauma, you know, these type of experiences I have been through, I'll be able to finally get some rest, you know, because, you know, it's difficult sleeping, but, you know, that adds a little peace if I can just help one kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure those kids have a feeling they probably can't describe when you talk to them, but can you describe your feeling after you talk to those kids? You said it's therapeutic.
Oh yeah, it's therapeutic. I feel joy, you know, I feel happiness, you know, I feel good about it, you know, I feel I'm actually, you know, helping society.
Mm-hmm.
I'm helping to tackle that stigma. You know, I'm doing my part, even if it's a small part, you know. I believe one man can change the world, you know. Look at Martin Luther King, you know, look at those great figures, you know. If I can just help one, I did something positive. That's what I want to do.
Whew. And you're doing it, though. That's the thing. You're doing it today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You know personally, like I said, you have seen the work, you know, and I'm you know, you always tell me how proud of me you are, and that means so much to me.
I am proud for you, right? For you and your dedication. And, I think as we come to an end here, and again, I cannot even say how grateful I am for you of being authentic, of being honest and open about your journey and really the journey of your recovery, right? So very powerful and empowering, in the changes that you've made.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today.
Well, I thank you for having me, and and I just want to tell anybody out there listening,
There we go.
just don't give up. You're more valuable here. If you're feeling down, go get some help. If you're in the school, if you're a young kid and you're feeling some type of way, go to your school counselor. Speak up, talk to someone. If you're an adult, call the hotline. They got places all around this country, just like APN, that can help you and give you tools to keep pushing forward and keep living, because you can overcome all this stuff and you can thrive. You can embrace the new life you have. So I hope this helps someone out there. Stay here, because I need you.
What you shared today took a lot of courage, and I know I appreciate it. We're all here for you on your ongoing, work that you're doing on yourself. So I appreciate it, and I would also suggest working on that bowling game, because you lost to somebody that doesn't even bowl. So
I beat you the second game.
There you
Twice?
two go again. You just couldn't hold it
beat you
in.
the
I was
first
couldn't you?
like, when can I talk about this?
Nah, I beat you that second game.
Time ran out.
And you cheated. You rolled for me in one game.
Get out of here.
So yeah, you cheated.
Oh, I love it.
I appreciate you. Yeah, it's been great to hear your story, and honestly learn a lot from you. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
For sure.
We don't give up. I think that's what I heard him say. We don't give up. And I want to say thank you for joining us here at Tackling the Stigma of Mental Health. I want to thank you, Anthony, for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for carrying the show.
Oh, yeah. Also, if you have any questions, you can always email us at pod@apn.com. Again, that's pod@apn.com. To see more of the podcast or others, go to apn.com/podcasts. Again, that's apn.com/podcasts. Thanks for joining us.